am reacting to your Monday Night Raw Hot Takes. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me on X because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And this weekend's a little bit crazy because we'll be doing episodes of Hot Takes for both Saturday night's main event and for Evolution, so keep a lookout for that. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. And if you are looking for more than just daily wrestling content, make sure you come check out the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZab. Over there, we just uploaded the review of this particular episode of Monday Night Raw with footage so that you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. If I posted here, it would just get blocked due to copyright, so you have to go over there. So check the link in the description, link in the pinned comment. You already know. Let's start the video. I really feel like Liv is going to be back sooner than we're all thinking because of how Finn Balor is pushing the quote, Liv is going to be out for a really long time, and commentary mentioning it too. I'm thinking SummerSlam in a non-physical capacity. I'm actually starting to lean towards the same thought. I think that she's going to be back soon. SummerSlam would be awesome. That would be a great place to hear her music hit, and I would love for Liv Morgan to be part of Judgment Day storytelling without being physical in the ring, because she doesn't need to be physical in the ring in order to be a huge presence within that Judgment Day locker room and within the Dominik Mysterio and Roxanne Perez story arc as well. And you add the dynamic of her being absolute best friends with Raquel Rodriguez maybe somewhere over the next couple of weeks becoming good friends with Roxanne Perez, then all of a sudden you have a really fun dynamic, not just between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio, but between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez as well, where you can tell a really fun set of different stories where you don't need Liv Morgan to get physical in the ring at all. In fact, that could be the big buildup of watching her recover and eventually being good enough to be able to get in the ring and beat the crap out of Roxanne Perez or whatever it might be. I think it would be great, and I would love for WWE to do this more with talent that gets injured. I know that traveling while injured can be incredibly problematic and probably incredibly annoying as well, but if it is possible to include injured wrestlers in storylines without having them get into the ring, it would create a lot less start-stop storylines because of injuries. And I think that this is a really unique situation where you really don't need Liv Morgan to get physical in the ring to continue to advance the storylines that are currently being told that involve Liv Morgan. Sure, you can't continue Liv Morgan versus Iyo Sky, but that's fine. Like, I don't need that right now. I can have that whenever they're ready to give us that, whenever Liv Morgan is able to get back properly in the ring. This is the best women's feud in WWE right now, and it feels more entertaining and interesting than both of the women's world titles. It seems like this is the only story that WWE has actually booked well and for a good length leading into Evolution. Hope that it opens or main events. I don't think that it's going to main event, but it absolutely has the storyline and the star power to actually be a main event. The only reason why it won't main event is because it's for the Intercontinental Championship and not the world title, because you are 1,000,000,000% right. This is not the best women's storyline in the WWE. This is the best storyline in all of WWE. Genuinely. Try and name me a storyline that's been better progressed and better told than this story right here. I think this absolutely has everything necessary to be the main event, with the exception of it not having the world title, because like I said, this is the absolute best thing going on. I know this match is absolutely going to torch the house down. We've already seen that these women have excellent chemistry with one another, and now you're going to put all three of them in what is going to be the culmination of the best storyline going on in WWE right now. This is just a win for fans all around, and a huge friggin' giant boost to the importance of the Intercontinental Championship as well, while also getting over a new talent that can be ready for the main event scene in Lyra Valkyria. Literally, WWE is doing everything perfectly when it comes to this trifecta right here. Hear me out. If they're gonna save AJ versus Dom for SummerSlam, and if AJ wins the Intercontinental Championship and Cena loses the Undisputed title that same weekend, they need to pull the trigger and give us AJ versus Cena at Clash in Paris. My personal preference would be for John Cena to retain here, with Cody Rhodes portraying guile in Street Fighter and being busy after SummerSlam. I'm no longer convinced that Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to dethrone John Cena. So I think that Cena is going to retain, and if he does retain, I'd love to see John Cena versus Drew McIntyre at Clash in Paris, considering Drew McIntyre has been the headliner for all of the other Clash in the Castles that WWE has done in the past. But if AJ Styles wins, if John Cena loses, this is the absolute best consolation prize available. Running back John Cena versus AJ Styles Styles for the IC title in front of a rowdy French crowd that's going to make so much noise for both of these guys. We already know the Il Vraiment Phenomenal chant, and it being for John Cena making even more history as a Grand Slam champion. This would be a perfect consolation prize if Cena does lose. But the AJ Dominik stuff, man, that stuff is hilarious. What they're doing with the limitations of Dom being injured at the moment, they're doing a great job at continuing to advance that storyline and make me, at the very least be interested in. So if they can do it with an injured Dom, I think they could do it with an injured Liv, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Asuka and Kairi should not have been reunited. Asuka has her scary aura back, and every time she's reunited with Kairi, she gets used poorly and loses her feel of being a key threat. Hopefully it's different this time. I think that it's going to be different this time because I personally think that the Kabuki Warriors are going to be a one-off thing. At least I sincerely hope that it is. I hope that this is just an excuse to find a way to get Kairi and Asuka in a match that isn't just throwing them into the battle royal that they have. And the reason why I think it's a one-off, you mentioned one of the first ones, Asuka feels like she's back. She's got her scary aura. Clearly the crowd loves her, and then you just put her right now in a tag team, I don't think is the right play, and I don't think it's their intention right now. The other one is that they clearly trying something with Kairi Sane as a single star. She's in an actual run here, beating different people in singles matches. She's in a bit of a hot streak as a single star and slowly getting over with the crowd as a single star. And I think that putting them both together right now in the long term is a mistake, but maybe as a one-off could do wonders in terms of creating more interest and intrigue in both of their singles runs, especially if, let's say, Kairi or Asuka turn on one another during this match, and all of a sudden we've got a great feud for both of them coming off the back of Evolution. So all in all, if it's a one-off, I'm totally fine with it. I think it's going to be great. I hope it's not a long-term thing because I'd rather see them continue to explore both of them as single stars like they're doing right now. I am really enjoying this feud, and these backstage segments with AJ Styles and Dominik Mysterio recently have been hilarious. WWE's handling this well considering Dom's injury. Uncle AJ has been giving us memes for 2 weeks straight. This feels like the rebirth of the Intercontinental Championship because for months there, it just seemed to be on hiatus with Dominik Mysterio not really having any sort of storylines for the title. He had matches, sure, against Penta, against Octagon Jr., but nothing that really truly materialized with the storytelling strengths that he has, which is just to be a hilarious Gen Zer. And that's what we're getting to see here. We are actually getting to see Dominik Mysterio, the character, as a champion, having a storyline with somebody that is the complete polar opposite of him, and also in a completely different human generation in AJ Styles. And this clash of generations, Uncle AJ versus snot-nosed Dominik Mysterio, I think can work wonders for both of these guys, and it's showing the strengths of Dominik Mysterio as the type of character that he's great at playing, and it's showing a different version of AJ Styles that I don't think we've really seen since the whole beat up John Cena stuff that he did all of those years ago. So I'm totally down for this. I really hope that they continue to explore this, and if anything, this is going to prove to the world that their match at Night of Champions was a mistake because that had no story, no build-up, and it didn't allow either of these guys to explore the characters that they're currently portraying right now. With the time that they have building towards SummerSlam, hopefully, we are seeing true character development and a proper storyline being played out, and that to me is something that I would much prefer over their soulless match that they were probably going to have at Night of Champions. Grande Americano humiliated conspiracy theorists today who were falsely claiming that he was Chad Gable by wrestling in a match while Chad Gable is recovering from surgery. I hope that this finally stops the insane conspiracy theories, but unfortunately, I doubt it will. Yeah, I know. We've been trying to debunk these conspiracy theories for a while, but conspiracy theories, they never stop. If anything, they evolve, they pivot, they change. Now they're saying that this is Ludwig Kaiser. They're saying that, look, he doesn't have the same tattoos that the previous El Grande Americano had. He's taller than the previous El Grande Americano, completely ignoring the fact that tattoo removal is entirely plausible. It's a real thing that happens in the world. Removing your own tattoos is a fine, normal thing to do. And height lengthening surgeries are an actual medical thing that you can get done. If anything, it just shows what a trooper El Grande Americano is, recovering from his height lengthening surgery as quickly as he did. Put some respect on this man's name, please. These two have unmatched chemistry together. We got blessed to have this match on Raw. Definitely need a rematch down the line. 1,000,000%. They need to absolutely run Penta versus Seth Rollins again and again and again and again and again. Listen, what's kind of cool to think about is the fact that it still sort of felt like they were walking through the paces. It felt like we were getting Penta versus Seth Rollins at like 60% speed. And at 60% speed, it was still a wonderful match for Monday Night Raw. But I still feel like if we were to get these guys going at 100% on a PLE with big stakes on the line, these guys could put on a generational classic for the WWE. The video package killed the very little hope I had of Iyo retaining, but hopefully we get something good for Iyo after her reign. So, Shady, I entirely agree with you. I think that there is now a 0% chance that Iyo Sky is retaining after that video package telling the story about how Rhea Ripley has never been able to beat Iyo Sky. And now, WWE has mentioned this before. They've mentioned that Rhea has not been able to beat Iyo, like say during the entrance to one of their matches, or during the match itself, or after the match. They've brought it up, but they've never made it the focal point of the storyline. They've never made it the obstacle that the big babyface is trying to overcome. And now that they've made that the obstacle for their top babyface, the obstacle is going to get overcome by the top babyface. It's 100% a guarantee now in my eyes that Rhea Ripley is going to walk out as champion. I think she's going to close the show with the pyro, the big celebration. The big popular champion is going to be the one that closes the all-women's PLE. And listen, at the end of the day, at least it's a champion that WWE wants to use, because they have no interest clearly in using Iyo Sky as a champion. At the very least with Rhea, at least it'll be a champion that gets used every single week, because Rhea was being used every single week. Champion, no champion, doesn't matter. But yeah, I hope that they do something with Iyo of interest afterwards. I'm sure like Stephanie Vaquer being on there is a great shout. Maybe going after the IC title with Becky Lynch, that'd be sick too. Like there's options for Iyo Sky. It's just a shame that we're already having to think about what those options look like, because WWE never even gave her a proper chance to show us what it looks like for her to be a proper world champion. Damn! Dude, this match is crazy. Oh my, dude, we are 2 minutes in.
Water veins tied to his neck. You are gonna die.
Oh! That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week we're looking at maybe one of the best matches I've ever seen: Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis in ECW 1995. The Falls Count Anywhere Hollywood ending match between Mariah May and Toni Storm. Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough for the NXT Championship at Halloween Havoc 2022. And the ladder match between John Cena and Dolph Ziggler at TLC 2012. You'll be getting this, plus the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the podcast 3 days early, plus a bunch of other series that are exclusively available to Patreon. So come check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. There's a link in the description or a link in the pinned comment if you're interested in coming over. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. It's because of you that I'm able to do what I do as often as I do it. But now, let's get you back into the video. As the weeks and months have gone on, Santi, it is very clear that Karrion Kross is a draw. His character work ever since mid last year has been nothing short of excellent, and I think that we will get Zayn versus Kross at SummerSlam, which I will be there no matter what for. Look, I think it was cool that Karrion Kross got a match at a Night of Champions, but I think it'll be even cooler and a bigger vote of confidence if he can get a match at SummerSlam. A match that I actually think he could win, because there was never a chance that he was going to beat Sami Zayn in a very pro Sami Zayn crowd in Saudi Arabia. Hell no. But at SummerSlam, that's a whole different beast altogether, and I could genuinely see WWE giving Karrion Kross the W here. That's the best possible path right now, honestly, for both of these guys, because they've been telling a very long story, a cohesive story that they seem to touch on every single week, and that to me is the makings of a match that deserves a big stage. And I think a great stage for this would be SummerSlam. And if it is SummerSlam, dude, as a Karrion Kross fan, I couldn't ask for anything better right now. And man, did you guys hear the reaction for Karrion Kross during his segment on commercial break? Everyone in that arena was chanting, "We want Kross." And man, I love that Kross acknowledged the chants. I do love when heels kind of no-sell love towards them, like when AJ Styles no-sold the Il est vraiment phenomenal chants in Lyon a few years ago. Man, 2024. It feels like a lifetime ago at least. Anyways, I love that Karrion Kross actually acknowledged those chants, because it just, you could tell that it meant so much to him. And Scarlett too. Like Scarlett, I'm sorry, but like you break characters so easily, because I could just see the smile in Scarlett's face is just so genuine, as she's just just so happy to see Karrion getting this reaction. And that to me makes me fall in love with both of them. If they can't figure out what to do with Dragon Lee as a singles competitor, they should find someone to pair him up with and form a tag team like what they're doing with Rey Fenix and Andrade. It feels like he's just doing nothing right now. You know what? Sure. At this point, why not? The Raw tag team division is dead as hell anyway. They keep portraying him as being a member of the LWO. Where the hell is the LWO these days anyway? I think you should just do something with Dragon Lee, pair him up with somebody that they're not using, have them make a cool tag team, and let them be in the Raw tag team division. Like you said, it's worked with Rey Fenix and Andrade. It's been a great way to showcase how good Rey Fenix and Andrade are without necessarily investing time, effort, tender love, and care into giving them a singles run, but it's making us, be reminded of how good they are, and I think that Dragon Lee needs that. I think we need to be reminded as fans how good Dragon Lee is, because he is genuinely incredible, and if you're not going to do that in a singles ecosystem, you might as well do it in the dead tag team division. What could you possibly lose by doing this? At this point, I'm down for Rey Fenix and Omos to form a tag team. Why? Honestly, that'd be kind of sick now that I think about it. Lamau, they're really about to do a 3-week build for most matches for their first 2-night SummerSlam. It's a little cynical, but I think that you're kind of on the nose. Like, it's kind of weird that they're only going to be getting 3 weeks to build up to SummerSlam, their biggest SummerSlam ever, as you said, the SummerSlam that in theory is going to have the most matches in SummerSlam history because it's 2 nights worth of wrestling. And last year's SummerSlam, many people actually felt like it wasn't long enough, that they only had 4 weeks to build to SummerSlam after Money in the Bank. And here we got 3 short weeks between Evolution and SummerSlam night 1. I don't know that that's enough time to build up to a show that you're trying to sell to cities that is on par with WrestleMania. But hey, listen, if they were able to make a 7-match card in 2 weeks for Evolution, I think they're going to be just fine for SummerSlam. I just wish they had more time to tell better storylines. WWE kills me with the protective booking in matches, and it happens every week. Sheesh, man, losing clean to wrestlers that are on your level of talent or slightly above/below isn't going to bury wrestlers. Listen, I pointed this out, and people just keep saying, oh, let Papa H cook. I said it's dumb, that it's constantly annoying to have your babyface have their ribs hurt before every single match. It's become such a trope at this point with Sami Zayn, with Jey Uso, with Cody Rhodes, with Penta. It's always the ribs. You always have to have your babyface get nerfed before they get pinned. And I think that's silly. I'm with you. I don't think that just losing to somebody that is on your level is going to bury it. Especially this week. Like, dude, did we really need to protect Sami Zayn from Bron Breakker? Bron Breakker? Really? That's who we're protecting Sami Zayn from? Getting destroyed by Bron Breakker isn't getting buried. So I'm with you. I think at this point, by the way, like, let's find a different body part to sell. Maybe an ankle, maybe a neck, maybe a shoulder. At this point, I don't know, a dick injury is more entertaining than just the ribs every single week. Not gonna lie, this was really cool. I love the hit and run situation, especially when the crowd is going nuts in the background. Great final build to this match, in my opinion. I love smart baby faces. I love baby faces that recognize that they are in a disadvantaged position and they do everything that they can to put themselves in a good position, like LA Knight did here with a hit and run on Seth Rollins, not getting himself into a giant brawl, not having to overcome the odds. I don't need a rib injury to LA Knight. Oh, LA Knight is just smart. He took advantage of his position. He picked his moment, attacked Seth Rollins, ran away, and celebrated with the crowd. That was such a sick moment. It's just cool seeing a cool babyface be smart and take advantage of a situation. The New Day segment was one of the funniest segments I've seen in a while. I wish it was on the USA broadcast so everyone could see it, and maybe they could even turn it into a storyline. Dude, I would love to see Undertaker New Day every single week. They genuinely were great. I wish, again, that it was in a tag team division where they had interesting other tag teams to interact with, because interacting as morning New Day with the War Raiders is just lame as hell. No one cares about the War Raiders. So I hope that they build the tag team division more so that New Day could do more of these types of shenanigans to build more storylines in the division, because right now, really, they're just doing this and acting this for themselves as opposed to the actual division that doesn't exist. But yeah, this was great. This is the type of stuff that I want to see more from heel New Day, and it's kind of a shame that it took them losing the titles for us to get maybe the most interesting thing that the New Day has done since kicking out Big E out of the New Day. I'm hoping they do more to make Bronson feel equal to Bron. He currently feels like a third wheel. I kind of see that too, especially in this episode of Monday Night Raw, where they gave them both an opportunity to finally create like a little bit of an individual individual identity. And when they gave the ball to Bron Breakker, I felt like he completely knocked it out of the park. He ran with it. He scored a touchdown. Every sports analogy that you could possibly want. I thought that he absolutely crushed it, and he created an individual identity for himself in this group where he was basically just a quiet badass. Meanwhile, Bronson Reed, I don't think he did that. I thought it was a lot of the same. I'm gonna tsunami you, and yeah, I'm gonna tsunami you. Okay, all right, like that's a tough act to follow. What Bron Breakker just did, but I was hoping to get a little bit more of the Bronson Reed personality coming out, and I don't think that we got any of that. So you say that you hope that they do more to make Bronson Reed feel equal to Bron? I don't think that they're doing a great job so far, because I feel like Bron Breakker right now feels significantly more important than Bronson Reed. It's confirmed El Grande Americano is actually the returning Ilya Dragunov. That flying headbutt he used to win the match looked just like a Torpedo Moscow. Oh, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, ladies and gentlemen. He might be onto something here. Just keep a lookout for that. Look, I don't want to feed the conspiracy theorists, but there's something to this theory right here. They need to have Bronson Reed win more matches clean. If the goal is to get both Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed to be permanent main event level talent, the push has to be equal. I get that Jay was a world champ and Sami wasn't, but still also great promos from both. I disagree, great promos from both. I thought it was significantly much better promo from Bron Breakker and okay, kind of forgettable promo from Bronson Reed, if you ask me. But listen, it seems like WWE is allergic to allowing Bronson Reed to win. Obviously, this match ended in a disqualification where he hilariously threw a chair at Jey Uso. I really did like that. But even then, I don't feel like he made good on his promise of like completely annihilating Jey Uso even post-match. Look, Bron Breakker said, I'm going to take out Sami Zayn. And by the end of the episode, Sami Zayn was out indefinitely. Bronson Reed said he was going to do the same thing. He hits him with 2 tsunamis, and Jey Uso actually basically walks almost with his own power back to the back. So even in terms of like danger factor, if you want to ignore like the promos and the quality of the promos that the two cut, even in terms of like the physicality, they have Bron Breakker clearly above Bronson Reed. What an incredible moment seeing the entire arena chant Karrion Kross as he beats Sami Zayn with a pipe. It's so great to see that his Night of Champions performance helped Kross's standing both with the fans and that push that we want him to have. Look, I think it's a combination of two things. I think it's a combination of Karrion Kross being over, but I also genuinely think that there is a bit of frustration with Sami Zayn just completely doing the whole, my ribs are broken, but I'm still going to persevere through and fight through all of this shtick. Dude, people in the Bron Breakker match weren't sympathetic to Sami Zayn. They were literally chanting one more time. They wanted Bron Breakker to hurt Sami Zayn even more. That's not the type of reaction that you want out of a sympathetic babyface that's trying to overcome an injury. So maybe it's a combination of frustration with Sami Zayn and love for Karrion Kross. You combine the two, and then him beating up Sami Zayn generates a giant pop, because it was a giant pop. Like, your babyface should not be in a situation where the crowd, the majority of it is popping for you getting beat up and begging for you to get it beat up even more. I think it would have been nice to see Roxanne try to beat Kairi with the Oblivion. I feel as if it would have added another layer on the whole Roxanne and Liv/Raquel story. That actually would have been interesting, because Raquel is trying so hard to make sure that people don't forget about Liv Morgan, saying that Liv Morgan is going to be back, that nothing's going to change. So if I'm Raquel and I see Roxanne trying to take stuff from Liv, like her finisher, that could create an interesting character dynamic for Raquel Rodriguez. But also, like, let's talk about Roxanne Perez for a bit. I feel like she's been entirely useless since being added to the Judgment Day and being given the tag team championship. She flies to Saudi Arabia just to get her ass whooped by Rhea Ripley, does nothing to help Raquel, and then in this, like, I'm going to beat Kairi Sane thing, she loses to Kairi Sane, which then sets up for the Kabuki Warriors to be added to this match. The Roxanne Perez has been turned into a giant loser, unfortunately, and I don't like seeing that. Even though I wish this match had more of a build for Goldberg's retirement match, I'm surprisingly excited. Also, great callback to old WCW with the split screen from Goldberg. Hey, I'm glad that you caught that, because there were so many moments in WCW that had like the split screen with Goldberg walking out towards the ring. That was absolutely a WCW callback for sure. But dude, I can't believe I'm saying this. Also, I'm literally just realizing that the photo says the ring general Gunther and Goldberg. I did not know that that's the photo that you use. Anyways, let me get back to my train of thought. That completely derailed it. I'm weirdly excited for this, and I don't understand why. Look, I hate the idea of Goldberg coming back, taking a world championship opportunity from somebody else. I even double hate the idea of Goldberg winning the world heavyweight championship. But I think at the end end of the day, I'm being won over by nostalgia. There is the little kid Santi, the soul of little kid Santi that still loves Goldberg. Goldberg was like one of my favorite acts in the early Ruthless Aggression era. I genuinely adored Goldberg, and I think part of that is coming out whenever I see Goldberg make his entrance. It's like all of that nostalgia juice is just rushing right back to my heart and to my head, and it makes me excited to see Goldberg, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Like, I popped out of my seat when Goldberg slapped the microphone out of Gunther's hands, punched him, and I was so excited to see that spear, to a weird level of excited. I should not be this excited to see Gunther get beat by Goldberg. I should not be this excited to see Goldberg potentially be a world heavyweight champion. I should not be anywhere near as excited as I am. But again, nostalgia is a powerful ass drug, and it's kind of taking over me right now. Please, wrestling gods, literally anybody but Nikki Bella winning the Battle Royal. I think you're going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be Nikki Bella. I think that all of the plans for Nikki Bella have been completely scrapped because of the Liv Morgan injury. I don't think that the plan was ever Nikki Bella in the World Championship picture, but I'm with you. I'm also praying anybody but Nikki Bella. WWE booking makes me actively root against Sami. I'm so damn sick of his character, and I'm so sick of his repetitive underdog promos. It's not 2015 anymore, and why is this character stuck in it? I mean, it kind of goes to what I was saying. Like, the crowd should not be chanting one more time for your sympathetic underdog babyface getting broken in half by Bron Breakker. And I do think it's a little bit extra frustrating when you see like the great booking of LA Knight as a babyface and not needing to do this with LA Knight, but having to do this constantly time after time after time with Sami Zayn. It is always the same type of, honestly, at this point for me, tired shtick of Sami Zayn having to go into the match injured because that's, you know, the underdog way to do it. Like, I'm sorry, but just going up against Bron Breakker makes you the underdog. You don't need to be more of an underdog to be the underdog in that position. Heels that come with facts and logic are the best. This version of Becky Lynch is better than the man from 2018, 2019. Oh, brother, that is a hot take, but it's a hot take that I'm willing to co-sign. I adore, again, I'm using the word adore, this version of Becky Lynch. I think that this is the best work that she's done of her entire career, from in-ring. Her matches as IC champ or against Lyra Valkyria when she was chasing the championship have been some of the best of her career. Her promos have been genuinely fantastic as a heel, and she's done such a great job at elevating herself, at elevating the championship, at elevating Lyra Valkyria, and at elevating the entirety of the women's mid-card. This has been a renaissance for Becky Lynch, if you ask me. All right, folks, thank you so very much for watching today's Hot Takes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.